Welcome back, everybody. It's Monday, June 26, 2023. Let's revisit the Moody landfill fire, talk about the latest with the state's United Methodist churches, and get ready for real summertime. I'm Mike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. Law enforcement late last week in central Alabama arrested 11 people on charges of electronic solicitation of a child and traveling to meet a child for an unlawful sex act, reports AL.com's Carol Robinson. Fultondale Police and Covenant Rescue Group led the operation with assists from police in Leeds, Warrior, Homewood, and Irondale. Those arrested were mostly from the Birmingham area up to Jasper and Cullman, with one from Bartow, Georgia. Now, as a sidebar, in our most government story of the day, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office said policy would not allow it to accept one of those arrested because he had not been properly medically cleared after a traffic accident. That accident happened when, according to Fultondale Police, he backed into an unmarked police vehicle while trying to avoid arrest. Speaking of government, a state investigation released by the Alabama Department of Environmental Management reveals that the state was not prepared to deal with a landfill fire in Moody that started in November and isn't completely out yet, reports AL.com's Dennis Pillion. Now, you're probably not surprised by such a finding. Senator Lance Bell, a Pell City Republican, quote, "We have never seen this type of emergency, a large underground fire emitting smoke affecting possibly thousands of residents and businesses in this state before, and we simply were not equipped to deal with it," end quote. The report was prepared by a group that included elected officials and the heads of ADEM, the Alabama Forestry Commission, the Alabama Department of Agriculture and Industries, and the Alabama Emergency Management Agency. The report recommended a review of the Alabama Emergency Management Act of 1955 and state and local laws to make sure emergency responders have the flexibility to respond to such situations and to be allowed to access private property in such situations. Since last year, 330 churches have left the North Alabama Conference of the United Methodist Church. That's just a little more than half its congregations. This past Friday, reports AL.com's Greg Garrison, the conference voted to push the denomination to open the church to blessing same-sex marriages and the ordination of openly gay clergy. This is the looming issue that caused churches to disaffiliate. Now, the resolution, which passed 236 to 151, was submitted by the Reverend Brian Erickson of Trinity UMC in Homewood and the Reverend H.N. Gibson of Eastlake UMC in Birmingham. It appeals to the UMC's General Conference, which meets next spring in Charlotte and could vote on changes to the denomination's Book of Discipline. If you found any of 2023 a little warmer than you like, you might want to buckle up this week. Weather reporter Lee Morgan reports that parts of the state could get into triple digits before we reach the weekend, and we'll have humidity on top of that. The heat that folks in Texas and Louisiana have been dealing with is going to shift eastward and into Alabama this week. We're looking at Thursday, Friday, and Saturday temperatures up to 100 degrees in some places and heat indexes soaring higher, perhaps topping 110 in southwest Alabama. On that note, thank y'all so much for listening. We're going to be back here again tomorrow. Until then, y'all stay cool and come by and see us anytime you want to on the World Wide Web at al.com.